Vector, not objective. More of this, less of that. I got this idea from Dave Snowden, and the concept behind it is this. If you think in terms of objectives is something I think we are all used to. An objective describes a desired result somewhere in the future. So you can describe the point where you want to land to. Now, as soon as things get complex, often this description of a result is wrong, because the way you get there, things will change, conditions will change. You don't really know which is the exact point, which is enough ambitious, but realistic, which takes regard of all the conditions that are changing while you go along. So instead of managing with an objective, the idea is of managing with a vector. And the best way to explain this would be if you take geography. So we cannot describe the objective. We are here in Basel, Switzerland. So we cannot describe an objective of going, I don't know, to Hamburg, because we don't know whether we will make it with the conditions we have and everything. But what we can say is go north. And maybe we'll make it to Copenhagen. Maybe we'll just make it to Hanover. But that will turn out later. But for the moment, what we can say, and this is now very important, our idea of north includes an idea of south, that is where we do not want to go. So people know what it means to go north from here. And we also can be very concrete and actually manage by objectives in a short term. So here from Basel, the next question would be, how do we get across the Rhine? And once we're there, we will see what we will do next. Also, it means you don't maybe always go north. You may go rather south for a period, because what you're doing is a detour. So you have a reason why for the moment you're not going north, and you go back north as soon as you can. Now, the way you can translate that into management questions you could ask yourself is exactly this: more of one thing and less of another thing. So when you think of things like, patterns of behavior, we are not visiting customers enough. What can we do that we get more of examples where we are actually visiting customers and less of the examples where something is keeping us from visiting the customers? An example of a vector that I'm actually quite proud of happened once when I was talking with a friend about her department. And in that department, they had a problem, because this department was conducting tests for other departments, and in that corporation, they were billing each other. But as it goes, when they made offers for these quite big tests, not always did they get a signed copy of the offer as was requested on paper. And then sometimes you had nasty surprises afterwards. Why was this on the bill? Why do we have to pay for this? And so on. And you wanted to avoid that. Now, a hard way of managing that, and what they actually tried, was that they say there is an iron rule, and the rule says if the signed copy of the offer is not with us within 2 weeks from the test will not take place. Now, as you can imagine, within a corporation, you don't do that. So actually one guy tried it once, and it went so high up in top management and came down with such a hammer. No, you're not trying that. So what they came up instead was something more of a rule of thumb, which works as a vector. And the rule of thumb was called, always make sure that the customer has realistic expectations. Now, what does that mean, realistic expectations? Well, you can describe that in a context. So with this customer, I might just leave it as it is because I never have problems with him. With another customer, he's fresh and so on, I might write some other email, could you please sign the copy of the offer? And with some other customers, if I have to go in person there and make them sign the copy, I will do that. So how to translate this rule of thumb into something concrete in the concrete context, that's what people can do.